All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where if Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford thought that they were going to go win this fight, have this fight, win this fight, and go off into the sunset, they are not. They are dead wrong, because the pressure is on about a young man out of Philadelphia who goes by the name of Jaron Boots Ennis. Both Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. had to answer questions about him and what they plan to do about this young problem in that division. And the answer was very, very illuminating. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. There is a saying in this world that there is nothing certain but death and taxes. And I have to add something in the boxing world to that. There is nothing certain in this world but death, taxes, and some young boy coming right up behind you when you think that you have crossed the finish line to snatch you back in and try to whoop you. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the three of the best fighters in the world, all of which are on my pound for pound list. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, and Jaron Boots Ennis. And man, let me tell you, when I put Jaron Ennis on my pound for pound list, a whole lot of people acted like I was bananas. They ain't acting so bananas anymore. But Errol and Terrence both had a press conference in which they answered the question about what they're going to do with this young, dynamic, could be once in a lifetime type fighter in Jaron Ennis. But before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot. Especially thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of videos like this, because it is absolutely the best way to support channels whose content you enjoy and helps me continue to be able to do these videos. But let's get into this, because I've been saying this for about 4 years now, maybe 5 years now. I've been saying this, but I've been saying it from the very first moment the first fight I saw of Jaron Ennis, when he was a significantly less well-developed fighter and mature fighter than he is right now, that this guy is going to be the best fighter in all of boxing. Talent just is so obvious. Abilities just so obvious that one time I just wanted to test it. My mother is, pays attention a very, very little bit to boxing. My father has been a fan of boxing for a very long time, but, not a really hardcore fan ever since boxing left free television. If it was still on free television, he'd be watching every fight. But he knows his boxing. Right? Been watching boxing since the days of Jersey Joe Walcott, since the days of Jersey Joe Walcott and Rocky Marciano. That's how long my dad has been watching boxing. So I just put on a highlight and I said, hey, let me know what you think of this. So this is the guy, look at this. There was my mother, my sister, and my father there watching him, and they kept saying, oh. That's the type of talent Jaron Ennis is. And there's not a lot of people in boxing that are like that. Not a lot come around that are like that. That's my opinion. So having him in the welterweight division at the same time that you have two amazing fighters, Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, who are going to be in the biggest, most significant fight that we've had in the last 8 years. They were interviewed yesterday about the fight, and they were both asked questions by media. And the media asked him about Jaron Ennis. And look, what do you think about Jaron Ennis? And after this is all done, do you think you will fight him? Errol Spence Jr. said, yeah, I'll fight him if the money's right. But he said, look, man, yeah, he's nice as SHIT. He said, yeah, man, that kid is nice. Yeah, he's nice as SHIT. No denying what he was, not what a lot of people are out there doing on Twitter and and I'm sure you guys will be doing in the comments of this video if I'm fortunate enough to have you guys watch it. You guys will be saying, what has he done? Who has he fought? What has he done? Who has he fought? You don't need that all the time. You don't need that all the time. Sometimes you can see what a person's done in the ring against the competition that they've had. Look at the styles of the fights of the fighters he's fought against and see what he's been able to do. This man has got 30 fights and he's yet to lose a round. Let me repeat this. Has 30 fights. And as far as anybody knows, he has yet to lose a round in 30 fights. That is no small feat. Okay, you can throw your back out. You can get in there with a bad matchup. You can do a lot of different things. Okay, now who has he fought? He has fought guys like Sergey Lipinets, who is a former world champion and a legitimately tough fighter. Tough fighter. Thomas Delorme, another guy that has fought for championships before and is a legitimate tough fighter. Chris Van Heerden, who is most definitely a journeyman, gatekeeper, journeyman type of guy, but he is a test with his style that other people have taken. And these guys have gotten in the ring with Jaron Ennis, and it has been an absolute joke. This last fight, you have an up-and-coming fighter. This guy that he fought, Romy Villa, was an up-and-coming fighter. He just beat coming out of Venezuela. And there's a bunch of very awkward, very good fighters that come out of South America that a lot of people never hear of until they become world champions. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, didn't know Marcus Maidana was this good, right? I don't recall if Marcus Maidana was a world champion or not. I think he might have beaten Adrian Bronner for that. But until you see them, you're like, and you see them beat somebody that you know, and then people jump on the bandwagon. A lot of times you don't know about these guys. Same thing for Paul Williams, not Paul Williams, but Sergio Martinez, who beat Paul Williams and is one of the better 154, 160 pounders that we've had this century. One of the better. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm just saying he's one of the better. Right? That's what they do. That Roman Villa comes from South America. And they've got a lot of very, very good, difficult fighters. Brian Castano, right? All of these guys that come out of there. Roberto Duran. I could go on and on about South America and the countries in South America and the difficult fighters that they put out, that if you ain't on top of your P's and Q's, they gonna put you on your BACK, So when Errol says, hey man, I'll fight him, if the money's right, show what's the money like? That's the proper answer for somebody like that. Terrence Crawford saying, yeah, I support, he said, I've been supporting him since he's in the amateurs. And, when he fought Gary Russell Jr., I know what a fighter he is and all that. But he said, look, man, business is business. So Errol says, yes. Terrence says, business is business. I've been telling y'all, don't expect Terrence to fight him because that ain't a good fight for Terrence. And I mean that in a way that where I can be as respectful to Terrence as I can be. Terrence Crawford is in his third weight class, moved up from lightweight to 140 to 147. And you've got Errol Spence Jr. You got Jaron Ennis, who starts at 147 and is probably going to get up to about 160. And it's very, very difficult style for that style. Errol is a little bit of a different question because the guys are closer to their same natural size. But even in that situation, Errol's going to be like, yeah, man, okay, I'll fight him. But you know what it is? You got to show me Major Green for that. And that ain't nothing. And let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with that because that's the type of fighter he is. That's the type of fighter where you got to say, hey, man, great risk, great reward. And that's just real with him. But anybody out here acting like that man ain't real, he ain't on people's radars, the people don't know what that man is. Like I've been saying that man is that for the last several years. Man, you better get used to it and stop acting like you waiting for BoxRec to tell you. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.